What's happening? How y'all doing? All right, today on a live show. Let's see if I can answer your questions. All right, we're here at greencardguys.tv. Happy to answer your questions. I practice immigration law here in Houston, Texas. We have a physical office, and let's see. I'm trying to set this up properly so you can see me okay here. All right. Hope you all having a great day. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm a little bit later than usual, more so because I've got two new interns starting at the office. So happy to answer your questions. But in the meantime, we have a topic of the day, of course. Okay, here at Team Law Group, the topic is I don't know. I got to get some lighting here to be a little better. The topic of the day is how to prove your marriage is legit in 2024. Okay, not much different than the years before. Okay, but want to go into it for about a few minutes, then I'll answer your questions for sure. Number one, okay, you have to. I highly recommend you have a checking account, some kind of financial account together where you're actually using the account. So sure, you may have just gotten married, you may have, and if that's the case, you may have just gotten a bank account together. If you, I hope so. And so that being said, and then you just go ahead and quickly file your case. So with that being said, you don't have any transaction history, and that's okay. But if you want the best case scenario to follow the trend of USCIS waiving interviews for adjustment of status case, then I recommend waiting to file. The fees increased already. So now at this point, you want to go ahead and just build up the evidence, maybe let at least 1 month pass after you have a checking account together. I mean, unless there's already an existing checking account where there's already transaction activity, then sure, just go ahead and file in that sense, right? Because you want to show that you have used the account. There's some people that just create a new account and haven't used it at all. Then, if I were a USCIS officer, I would think that's a little strange. I want to see some transaction history. All right, folks, welcome to greencardguys.tv. Some of you just joined. So my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping people to get their legal status, to live and work in America legally. All right. So don't worry. If you have a question, just go straight to it. Just go ahead and ask. Okay. On TikTok, they've been doing this thing on the platform there where they hide some of the comments. But if you already input it, hit enter, you don't have to copy and paste. It's there. Don't worry about like copy and pasting your question. I can see it and I'll approve it. So Nadia Khan, yes, it is Hong Kong. And I bought that in Stanley Market. It's been a long time since I've been there. I have not been there since the transition of power to China. But I would like to go back. Great recognition on that. If I could give like brownie points back to y'all, I would do that. All right. So with the topic of the day, how to prove your marriage is legit in 2024. A lot of people are wondering, especially, some of y'all like, I found the right match. I found my honey bunny. What do some people call it? I found my Pookie bear. But you're wondering, well, how do I? But it's like the other your spouse, significant other might be not willing to share some documents or not willing to transfer the home to both of your names. That part is okay. Your home doesn't have to be in both names. If it's already in both names, great. But I get it. Like some people don't want to add another spouse to the home if they already have one. I totally get that. That's not required. So, which by the way, if you do have a premarital agreement or prenup, you don't have to share that to USCIS. They're not going to ask you about that. Fortunately, knock on wood, have not had an officer ask about that. So that's completely, I think honestly, that's completely reasonable. Maybe back in the day, people didn't think that, but you got to protect your assets. Okay. So, so how to prove your marriage is legit in 2024 by actually not providing that many photos. Okay. We have a lot of clients that share a photo album, like literally a physical photo album or, in a Dropbox folder. and we have to sort through. So usually we ask clients, only give us like about 10 photos. Let's start with 10 photos. And of course, don't let it be the same location. Let it be at different locations. Okay. What's up? What's up? Good to see y'all. Welcome to the show at greencardguys.tv. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States with a physical office in Houston, Texas. So you can check out our over 300 five-star reviews. We really care about customer service. I apologize about the lighting here. We're going to fix something here at the studio here at the office. So let's see. All right, let me go ahead and answer some questions here because I know y'all are waiting for it. And I'll let you know, by the way, if you are interested in our services, you can click above, all right, on the profile. You go ahead and hit the plus sign if that's what it is. Go ahead, follow the profile right here. And then after the show or whatnot, or if you want to do it right now, you can fill out the form, click on profile. Under my profile picture, there's a link, ZAAP. There's a link there where you can schedule a meeting. You can answer a few questions, pay this amount. I can't say it out loud, but I'm holding my fingers. It's less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Isn't that crazy? I know there's a trend on TikTok. People complain about Starbucks, but it's less than a cup of coffee. I mean, so a cup of coffee could be a little more than that now. But it's really I hate to do that, but it's really to reserve the spot. My team feels sometimes a little bad if some people schedule and all that, but don't show up. So I get it. Things happen at work. Just let us know. Okay. So after that happens, then you can self-schedule. It redirects you a couple times. We're trying to make it easier for y'all. So we're in the process of that. All right. In the meantime, let me answer some questions here. All right. Let me move this around so I can rearrange this. Okay. Sorry, it takes me a second to scroll up here. All right, I'm going to try my best to go in order, y'all. I know a lot of y'all have questions about like processing times, things of that nature. Okay. How long I am in Queen, or if that's how you say it, how long does it take I-130 to be approved? So it depends. It depends who filed for you. And I don't know why it's different. I have an idea, a pretty good idea. But when it's an immediate relative, let's say your spouse filed for you and your spouse is a US citizen, and you as a beneficiary, immigrant beneficiary, are in the United States eligible for adjustment of status, then generally 3 to 6 months if you filed everything together. If you're outside the United States, even if you're sponsored by a spouse and the intention is go through what we call consular processing, your visa interview is going to be outside the United States. The petition by itself, step number one, is going to take about 12 months. Okay. If it's less, I'm happy for you. And you let us know. Come back to the community on the Green Card Guys.tv here on the channel here and let us know. We'd love to hear your experience. Okay. Please share it. We want to build up the community so that everyone can share it, because really, at the end of the day, we're sourcing information, right? Because I don't know for every single person their experience. So I'll greatly appreciate it. Okay. But by the way, if you're eligible for adjustment of status, let's say you're married to a US citizen, you enter the visa and you never left the US, but you haven't filed everything, all the forms, that's a sign you need to talk to a lawyer. Okay. Or maybe you did hire a lawyer. Let's see. You can talk to another lawyer. All right, Jason Lane, what's up on TikTok? Good to see you. Should we have submitted a medical form with your I-130? No, I think if I remember correctly, Jason, you let me know if I'm wrong, but your spouse is abroad, so you cannot submit medical form with I-130 only. If the immigrant beneficiary is in the US, then yes, you file a medical exam results in a sealed envelope with the 485 application. Okay, otherwise, yes, later on, if your spouse is outside or immigrant relative is outside the United States, in consular processing, you do the medical exam like a couple of days before the interview. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some idea there. I would think that they ask people to do this much sooner, but I don't know. They would like literally wait till the last second to ask you to do a medical exam. I guess they want the most up-to-date medical results. All right, picking another one here. AM, you have a question. So AM or anyone else, if you have a question, just go straight to it. AM, I see your actual question. I've just found it here. You got arrested before in a fight. And sorry, I'm a little up close on YouTube here and Facebook. Let me see if I can scoot that back. I pinned comments, but then it doesn't show me the whole thing. You got arrested before in a fight, and the case got dismissed because it was a silly fight. Okay, what was your follow-up comment here, AM? I think I have an idea what your question is, but now I got to find your second question here. What's up, folks? Please try to stay on. I try to stay on for at least 30 minutes to an hour, but I have interns to mentor here today, so it might be 30 minutes. AM, I can't find your second question or follow-up. Would it affect you? It can affect you. All right, but if you're, we don't always provide the not medical, the police report, criminal record, when you're applying for a green card. Now, of course, your attorney needs to verify if you're still eligible. But even for it's dismissed. So dismissed can come in the form of several different ways. It could be a straight dismissal. That is what we prefer. If it's one of those that you signed a plea deal, a plea bargain, maybe you didn't have to go to jail, but they told you, okay, here's a pretrial diversion. I know some lingo in criminal defense world, but I don't know all of it. But so your state could be different where you are. I'm in Texas and I don't practice criminal law. I have friends and colleagues that do. So I know I have an idea of the terminology. But if you sign a plea deal and then later it was dismissed because you completed the probation, all that, didn't have to serve jail time, it's still on your record for immigration. It does not matter if your criminal defense attorney or even the district attorney says, oh, yeah, don't worry, you can get that expunged after effect. No, you can't do that. You can literally do that to court, but immigration, they will know about it. And that's the point of the biometrics. The ASC form, if you're in the US, there's a reason for it, okay? So I don't know. I don't know if it's a straight dismissal. If it's a straight dismissal for you, AM, then so far it sounds good. But I don't know your specific case, but hopefully that gives you an idea. You're applying for GC. Okay. Thanks for that information there. I see on YouTube some questions here. Thank you so much. Test bond 007. Is it normal for appeal? To do appeal, they deny your VAWA status and they change status to, oh, I see. They deny your application after RFE. Or the USCIS mess up. It was part of documents of appeal that. So appeal doesn't, when people think of appeal of a USCIS application, it's actually, most people consider it an appeal, but it's not really an appeal. The Form 290B is the motion to reconsider or reopen. So yeah, USCIS changed it to MTR on its own because that's what it's actually called. But on one of the pages, I think the second page, you have to check mark the specific situation. So, I mean, that's a reason to have a lawyer because there's a bunch of check mark boxes that you might not know what to pick correctly. You fought with the courier guy because 1 month timeline to submit an appeal document. Now they closed your appeal file and added documents to delayed. I don't know. I don't know how to help you there, but I don't know if arguing with the courier guy is going to do anything for you. It's not going to change the fact that it was late, I suppose. Okay. Next question here. Naja Chelsea, good to see you, sir. I think that's your. So how long will AOS stay inactively being reviewed since it was updated in February? Receipt dates May 2022. To answer your first question, it could keep that status even after you're approved. Isn't that wild? USCIS could approve your status, approve your application, but online, USCIS status can still say actively being reviewed or say something else. And so that's my point, folks. Like the USCIS, even though the United States is a world superpower, #1 world superpower, they don't provide you updates as accurate as a freaking Domino's pizza tracker. Isn't that wild? Or any other restaurant that has it pretty good. Like, It's just I'm not sponsored by Domino's, but by the way, if you work for Domino's, put in a word for me, okay? Because I reference them all the time. Okay, so but seriously, the pizza tracker is much better than USCIS. So you would think USCIS use its money and something to update its systems, workflow to be able to update y'all. But no, they don't. They don't want to make it easy for y'all, okay? They want to make it difficult. So, Naja, Chelsea, yes, you can sue, okay? Because it's been 24 months since you filed. We usually wait at least 16 to 18 months. So it's right on point, unfortunately. Okay. And I get the feeling, Naja, Chelsea, that you haven't even had an interview. So even more reason to sue. Okay. All right. Now, look here, folks. I love to talk about share the different various immigration problems. I can share the strategy, the action plan. But at the end of the day, and y'all can join the live show every day. You're welcome to join. We have clients that join the show from time to time and share their positive experience. But at the end of the day, whether your case has been delayed or been denied, do not sit on your hands. Okay, especially if I had the chance to answer your questions every day, Monday through Friday. I generally go on a live show, answer questions. If I've indicated to you you should take the next step, like actually to your comment or question, I'm literally encouraging you to do that. Whether it's through our law firm, it'll be our pleasure, but it doesn't have to be through us. Okay, there's plenty of immigration lawyers that can help. I mean, I hope so. I know a lot of good ones. I know also a lot of bad ones. So I know of a lot of bad ones. All right, now to the next question. Okay, yo, this has happened a couple times. There's someone on Facebook that uses a different attorney's name, um, and it's not in reference to me. And sometimes, like a little lovey-dovey, it's a little bit freaky. So we are going to remove your comment later on. So you should watch out because it doesn't look like you're asking about a specific question. Anyways, it's a little strange. All right, I'm back to TikTok here. Puma on TikTok. Any idea how long it takes for 601 to get expedited? How long to get expedited? Well, in general, it takes about 2 years on the processing time schedule. Okay, but to try to get expedited, I don't believe that 601 is an application that you can expedite. That would be great. 601A can expedite. Can you submit an inquiry online to USCIS? Absolutely. But they have a time, they have like a, you have to enter your receipt date and they may block it. You can call in, but they also may tell you on the phone you wasted 30 minutes of your time or so just waiting. And then you finally talk to someone, a human, and they tell you, sorry, your receipt date is not to where we can submit an inquiry for you yet. So that's just an inquiry, but that's not an expedite. So I hope that makes sense of difference. When the case may go to it's I-130, 765, I-131, or the cases to Department of State, specifically National Visa Center, then yes, you can submit expedite. Okay, let's see here. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for trust for asking. Okay, Nadia, you mentioned this is Hong Kong painting. I'm glad you recognize it. That's pretty cool. Um, can you reopen the? Okay, Mike. I guess Mike Khalil. TikTok, can you reopen your asylum case after it got denied? You're a Palestinian. There's war. You can appeal. So in that situation, if you get denied at immigration court of an application, the next step is appeal. It's not a reopening in that sense. Okay. So you have limited time. You have 30 days from your court hearing, from immigration court to appeal. Now, in this sense, you don't have to. This is a thing that most lawyers don't talk about. the appeal process, there's not much work in the beginning, which is kind of surprising, but we file something called notice of appeal. We're just notifying the Board of Immigration Appeals that we're going to appeal it. But that doesn't mean you need to have the lawyers don't have to have the brief, like the big document explaining why you're appealing. You don't have to file that at the time of requesting appeal. That's for later on. It's a ridiculous process, but hopefully that helps. So it doesn't freak you out. All right, Taylor. Have I been seeing a faster turnaround time for I-129F for fiancé visa? Yes, we have, Taylor. And I think the most recent one we just got about a week or so ago, got approved in 3 months' time, which is what it's supposed to be. However, if you have not filed yet, you still may want to consider the marriage route. Okay, not trying to push any buttons here. Okay, I know some people want to wait a little bit for a particular reason, but here's the deal. Even if you have the fiancé petition step number 1 completed in less time, let's say 3 months or even 5 months, and you move on to the next step. The next step of essentially, you have to submit documents, but the next step of waiting for the visa interview is from what my colleagues and I have talked about, my friends, it's still not being prioritized. Okay. I wish there were like you have 2 different offices at an embassy, just one focus on marriage and one focus on fiancé petition. That would be great, but that's not how it works. Okay. So it's very unfortunate that they still delay the fiancé visa interviews. So, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't necessarily make a decision only because of that. Okay. So if you're wondering what else to think about on that, I do need to record a video about that. Hey, Coda, what's up? You're welcome. Happy to help. How long does it take for a green card holder to file for your 20-year-old? Is that what you mean? And are you a green card holder, or who's the sponsor, the status of the sponsor? Okay, status green card holder. So you could, but first that would be called family preference. Okay. And in your situation, since sounds like your son or daughter is 20 years old, you're about to come across a situation where your child's going to age out. Okay. So you need to file the petition ASAP. Okay. Don't actually wait until you become a U.S. citizen, because that takes time. Even though it's been faster recently in the past 2 years, like 3 to 5 months to become a citizen, you still don't want to just assume it will take that amount of time. So go ahead and just file a petition for your son first. But to your main question, how long does it take? It could take like at least a year to petition, but that's not even the first issue. I mean, maybe you filed already, and I'm just speculating what the problem is, potential problem. That's the thing, man. I'm sorry, folks. I always think about, like, whatever y'all ask, I always think about the actual potential problem. But I feel like it would be a disservice if I don't think like that, to share that. You said your sister wants to file for the kid who's 20. Yeah, okay. So you gotta make sure your sister files that petition ASAP before the kid turns 21. And so it wouldn't be and so if like the birthday is like next week, you really got to get on it ASAP. Okay. All right, Sergio, what's up? You applied for a marriage-based green card back in April 2024. Okay, so that was just last month or so. Your DACA expires September. Am I able to renew? Yeah, I mean, I would definitely renew your DACA. Okay. First of all, because I don't know if Sergio, did you enter with a visa or not? So these are certain situations, like I have follow-up questions, and unfortunately on TikTok, it's a little more difficult for me to find the second or third comment. So if you know you want our services, excuse me. If you know you want our services, go ahead and click the plus sign on your respective platform or the About page. Click on a profile. There's a link down below my profile picture, ZAP. You'll know that's legit because I'm sharing with you. Then just answer a few questions. You're going to pay this amount, less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and then you're going to get redirected to the self-scheduling page. Okay. Now, if you don't want to hire us, that's cool. No, all good. But you want answers to your questions, that will be what we call a traditional consultation, okay? A strategy session. So, in that sense, we do have a paid 3-digit required fee for the traditional consultation. Jim asked on YouTube, what can you file or can you file a motion to reopen using attorney when you have a pending self-filed appeal? That's interesting. I'm yes, you can hire an attorney, but I don't know if it makes sense to refile the 290B if that's what you're talking about, the USCIS form. Maybe there could be a way to update the package of what you sent already. That way you don't have to waste your government fee. But if it's like total, the thing is, if it's totally contradictory, I would probably not though. You're at 290B stage, but maybe withdraw it the first 290B. I don't know if that would help, but probably not because I would probably just keep it there because you may have been already past the timeline. Some people think they can file the 290B when it's already past 30 days since the date of decision. And no, you can't. So if you already have one on file, I'm not saying you need to replace it or just, don't withdraw it. Then have your attorney to update it. Okay. All right, next question here. We are located in Houston, Texas, with a physical office. Okay, just answering Araceli's question here. We're legit. We're not. We're not. You can find us. We have over 300 5-star reviews. Focused because we focus on customer service. Hustle Mom. Hustle Mom 44 on TikTok. Your case is stuck. Well, contact us. Sounds like you're interested in our services. We can unstuck your case. We can get that case moving along. Usually, most cases. Okay, Michael Henry, do you need to submit a 765 to get the social? Yes, if you want the social security number sooner, which if you're filing for someone, especially like it's a kid or a parent, they might not be working age. Well, I guess as a parent, I mean like retirement age. I still filed the 765 to get the social sooner. Of course, now the government fees have increased, and now there's a new application fee for that. I get it. It just depends. Depends if on the social security number. Also, that depends on your timing. So, if it were me, I would just pay for it. Okay, Manveer, I think. Manveer, how fast are I-130 cases getting approved? Do you know? I think I answered that earlier. Depends on who sponsor you and where you're at. So 6 months to a year. Well, okay, 714 on TikTok. Will a post-conviction relief help when requesting a 212 waiver after being deported? If you're eligible for post-conviction relief and you can afford it through the attorneys, then I recommend it. But on the immigration side, so that's the criminal defense side. On the immigration side, if your attorney has told you and provided you some kind of proof, I always love to show proof. Show proof on why at least you're that you're still eligible for the 212 waiver, then yes, then you don't necessarily have to worry about getting it dismissed. If that makes sense, because that's the point of the waiver. But of course, if the crime is not one that renders you not eligible anymore, then yeah, definitely try to get that. Talk to attorneys that can help with post conviction relief if that's even possible. Okay, Prime Brosh, how can you travel outside the U.S. with a 2-year green card? Okay, with the conditional resident status alone, it's possible. If your CR status it has expired and you're traveling or you need to travel, then of course you need to call the 1-800, say of course, like you should know, you need to call that 1-800 number 375-5283. Yes, I know. It's crazy. I memorized this thing. I've called them so often because we need to for clients, right? 1-800-375-5283. If I'm wrong about the number, let me know. Because I'll be running with it without being corrected. But yeah, if it expires and then you need to update, let's say you get an automatic extension notice because you remove the conditions, then it's supposed to give you 4 years. But I always recommend our clients to get the stamp. We call it the I-551 stamp. It's basically the form number for the green card, okay? Even though it's a green card, not a form. So you need to ask for an info pass appointment to get that 551 stamp on your passport. That's the best proof. Okay. Thanks for tuning in here, folks. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you secure your legal status to live and work in America legally. I have to say that also because just in case some people are trying to kick their spouse out or whatnot, we don't help with that part. Just go to ice.gov if you're trying to do that. Okay, user 8124 on TikTok. Can you write testimonial letters for the signers? I don't know what you mean, the signers. Do you mean that you need you think you need letters from your family and relatives for your marriage case? Or because if that's your question, then I mean it's not necessary, but it can be helpful. Okay. All right. Coda on YouTube asks, thank you so much. What is ACP? ACP, I believe, is a criminal defense term. I think it's kind of like pretrial diversion. Let's see. I'm just Google search it and a couple of things pop up, but I don't think that's what you mean. I mean, on Google here it says attorney-client privilege, so I don't think that's what you mean. Maybe you do. We're located in Houston, Texas, with a physical office. This is one of our offices right here. Okay. I would show you all the conference room, but the interns are there. But thank you for asking. Filipina Nurse Sacramento. That's a pretty specific TikTok name. How to get invoice number from an approved case from USCIS. However, family member did not update address. Ooh. Okay, so that's first. Ooh, that's gonna be difficult. You may have to update USCIS first. But usually they email the attorney if you have one, and also the I believe the sponsor. I believe they email the sponsor as well. So if the sponsor doesn't have the correct email address on there, I mean, even for us, I've had whoever works at National Visa Center, we gave them the correct email. They transposed the email. They put like instead of JOHN, they could have put like JHON or something like that. You know, it just depends on culture, I guess. But like they got it wrong, and fortunately, our client forwarded it to us. But I would try to submit inquiry with NVC, even though you don't have the number. So you're looking for two things. If you have a petitions approved by USCIS and your immigrant spouse, family members abroad, outside US, going to go intentions consular processing, you need to expect an email from the National Visa Center. It's a sub-agency of Department of State. You're going to get an email with a new case number, NVC case number, and an invoice ID number. You need both. It's like login and password, basically. All right. Okay. Jim says ACD. That's right. Adjournment and contempt of dismissal, meaning about 3 months delayed dismissal. Only an idiot fights it out because a DA will give you the next court date for trial in 6 months, which could go on 4 years to another year. So yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the context. Maybe the district attorney that filed the case against you. But yeah, I don't have any feedback on that personally, since I don't handle criminal defense law. That would just be too much for a TikTok show. or social media, especially. Okay, Derek Scott, you're a permanent resident in Canada. Now you want to bring your Canadian wife to the U.S. You don't have USA income, but you're a U.S. citizen. Okay, is I'm assuming. Um, it doesn't have to be U.S. income derived from U.S. It just has to be income in general. So as even though you're a U.S. citizen, some people don't know this. Even if you live in a different country outside America, you still need to file U.S. tax return. Now, of course, there are some exceptions that maybe you don't have to file a tax return, but if you're earning income from a different country in a different country, you do have to file a tax return. I'm not a tax lawyer. I do have connections, relationships where you can, if you need a tax lawyer, I can refer you. Who was that? The Canadian that just asked this question, or PR Canadian. I do have a video on YouTube of talking about the 864 sponsor form. So hopefully that can help you out. Folks, if you're on TikTok, okay, please go ahead and give it a follow, because if I get to at least 10,000, then I can create a playlist of these helpful tips on TikTok. But right now I'm not able to like, you can only pin 3 videos. So if you have an ability to do the playlist, I just need to get to 10,000. So please share it to your homies and ask your homies to follow. Hopefully they need immigration questions answered anyway, but we greatly appreciate it. Okay, let's see here. Trying to find the next question. Let's see. Gary, from TikTok, you're a Hong Kong citizen. Can you apply for asylum in USA? You first have to, if you want to apply for asylum, unfortunately, there is no remote application. You have to be physically in America to file for asylum. So I don't know if that's what you mean, but um, our office does not help with asylum, but we do have referrals. We have a network of attorneys that can help with a specific situation. So if you want one of our contacts, welcome to still contact our office. Okay, we'll need an email so we can share more information. Okay, trendy TikTok. Tick to go. I need to follow your channel. Can I do that? Okay, done. There we go. I hope I can see some trends on your channel. Okay, what would be the strong evidence for bona fide marriage? Well, the first one I mentioned earlier, if you just now joined, I'll answer it again. Number one is joint financial documents, like a checking account, savings account, something to where not necessarily like a 401k. That's not really joining. That's like adding someone as a what we call like a beneficiary if you pass away. But a checking account and at least a savings account, or one or the other, something to show there's some kind of transaction activity. Okay. Punam on TikTok. Was I a INS officer before, ICE officer, USCIS officer? No, I've never worked for the government. Okay, but because I'm able to share my experiences because of our actual cases where we represent people at the interview. So that's how we're able to share some information like that, and just understanding the policy manual of USCIS. It does provide a lot of insight into the process. All right, Aisha on TikTok, can you file for your mom? I think that's what you said. Even though you're a green card holder, I don't believe so. Let me just verify. But the best thing to do, honestly, is to become a U.S. citizen first, and then you can file for parent. Okay. Sometimes these questions are great questions because they trip me up, but just want to make sure here. As a resident, you can file for your spouse and child under 21 or over 21. But for your mom, as a resident, no, you cannot. Okay. You have to be a citizen. And by the way, folks, I'm getting to the point where I have to jump off this live soon. So, especially if you're on a channel where you can send a DM, welcome to do that. TikTok, Facebook. Um, but I know YouTube doesn't really have that function for some reason. That'd be the next level if they can do that. Maybe they do already on the super fan thing subscription. Denise, when you lose your green card, how long does the process take? Well, first, sorry you had to go through that situation, lose your green card. I know you got it's the I-90. Okay. The thing is though, the I-90 processing time, people have shared in the community here that has been taking people like 2 years. Even on the online processing timetable also says 24 months. So with that being said, if it takes that long, at least 2 years, you definitely need to contact us because we would sue them. It should that's something like that. Should be a rubber stamp. I need like some kind of emoji thing that's like a rubber stamp. It shouldn't take that long, or easy button. That's just ridiculous. Especially if you misplaced it or lost it. It shouldn't take the government just as long for that I-90. Okay. Thank you so much for the questions. It's wonderful. I'm going to try to answer two more questions here. Okay, great question here. Susie here is a permanent resident in the U.S. Can she file for her husband? Yes, you can. But I recommend at this time only filing for the petition I-130 if you're going to file something. And you're wondering that you're telling us you'll be eligible to become a citizen in 2026. So also, there's a related tangent here. You want to verify with a lawyer when you're eligible because you can file 3 months before the eligibility date. I know, kind of interesting why they do that, but hey, might as well take advantage of it. We just want to be clear on that. But even if you become a citizen, that the benefit of becoming a citizen to sponsor someone is so it waives any unlawful presence. It waives any time period of failing to maintain status because a lot of our clients have overstayed their visa. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Meow on TikTok. How to change visa from J1 to working visa. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as some of y'all might think if you're especially from abroad and think like, oh, US should have a better process than your own country. Not necessarily. Thumbs down on that, unfortunately. J1, if you in with the host company organization, you want to switch to another working visa, it depends on your circumstances, depends on the timing of when you ask to do this. It's all like up in the air. So like if y'all already know beforehand, like literally or right when you get approved for J1 or something else or F1 and you're wondering how to go from that visa to another one and even to like resident status, y'all need to join me on a webinar, okay? Because by the time you ask these questions, it might be too late, right? H-1B registration window, to give you an idea, is only in March of every year. It's ridiculous. Of course, there are exceptions if you work for like they have a couple different scenarios, exceptions, but like basically like a hospital that has educational institution. It's like basically like a research hospital. It's very, very limited exceptions. And if that's the case, then you can file any time of the year for H-1B. So anyways, there's a lot of information y'all need to know that is not really conducive for a fast-natured TikTok show or YouTube, Facebook. So I'm going to invite y'all to a webinar, okay? If you go to the profile, hopefully it's set up. If not, we're going to do it quickly right after the show. But go to a profile up here, okay, or the About page. And then what you do is, if you're not interested in our services, skip the first one, scroll down. I think it's all the way down, possibly, and find the one that says webinar, okay? You want to do that, and there might be an option of a topic, but put in the notes there what you're actually wondering about, maybe what your question is, maybe a different topic you had in mind. We're open to it, okay? And we're going to do this at least once a month. So stay tuned on it. On YouTube, I know that if you comment now, webinar or something, it goes away. I can't see it. So when I end the show, or you can send a message right up here. Okay, this number right here for the people on YouTube and Facebook. Just type in webinar, or ask for the link, and we'll send it to you. Because there's a lot of knowledge I would love to share. It's just not conducive for this fast-natured live show. Okay, lawyers like to talk a lot. At least I do, because I want to help you secure your legal status to live and work in America legally. So on that note, I'll catch you on the next one. Stay tuned, okay? Join me live tomorrow. Follow and share. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. You know what to do. Follow and tap the screen.